Brighten up those dark mornings. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lekter. Mornings at the cabin.
Mornings at the cabin, indeed. Wheeler and Lekter with you. AJ, nowhere to be seen. He must have an appointment somewhere around 11 o'clock.
He's exhausted.
Exhausted?
Yeah.
What did you?
I don't know.
Let me tell you something. We're all exhausted. All right?
Yeah, all right.
Okay, no AJ this morning. You'll be in a little later, though, right? You got burgers to taste today.
Yeah, later on. Not for the morning show.
Oh,
I think
fair
he's
enough.
out for the morning show.
Well, jeez.
To be fair, the office light has been on all night.
Well, good.
So he might have pulled an all-nighter.
Oh,
I don't
fair
even
enough.
know.
You know what? He's curled up under the desk.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, purring away. Look at
Oh.
him. Just like a little cat.
Cute little guy.
Oh, don't disturb him.
Can I scratch his beard?
No.
Okay.
For goodness sake, that'll wake him up. Big show this morning. Lots to talk about. Plus, a special guest.
Yeah.
Which I can reveal because we revealed it yesterday. Baby Brian, going to be in a little bit later on to share with us a new tune that he's written in regards to a local tragedy. Now, I don't want to start off on the wrong foot. A tragedy of not a person or anything like that.
No.
Just
It's not the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald or anything.
I mean, it's the wreck of something or other.
It's channeling it.
That's right. That's right. A very Gord Downie-esque tune, or at least we think Gord Downie would love it.
Lightfoot.
A Lightfooter tune?
Fitzgerald, you know.
Yeah, okay, but I like Gordon Lightfoot. Gord Downie's actually a nice person. This is the problem. Gordon Lightfoot actually came to Yellowknife a long time ago, and my mother met him, said he was a jerk. So I think that's just his artistic temperament.
Well, we can close that chapter.
Well, I mean, if you come up with one of the greatest songs ever written, chances are maybe you're a little insular. I have no idea.
Mornings at the cabin, the podcast.
Mornings at the cabin. Hi. Wheeler and Lekter with you on your Wednesday morning. That's right. It's Wicked Wednesdays, or as we like to call them down here, What the Wednesdays. That's right. It's one of those weeks. But we're here, and we're possibly here to stay. I don't know. Anyway.
I figured out what's going on with AJ.
Oh, what's going on with AJ?
Well, he's sleeping.
Sleeping? Did he let you know that? How did he let you know that?
Meat coma.
Oh, meat coma.
We've been eating a lot of burgers.
No doubt.
Not complaining.
No. How many burgers did you eat yesterday?
One.
Just one. Okay. Are we going again today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Twice.
Wow. Where are we going? I want to come this time.
We're going to the Dancing Moose this morning.
Oh, very nice.
Having a morning burger.
What time?
A good morning burger.
What time?
Okay. Easy.
No, I'm antsy today.
Okay.
I came in hot today.
I think we're heading there around 10:30.
10:30.
Yep.
You know that eliminates me from contention of having a delicious burger.
Maybe we can stretch it to 11.
Maybe you could stretch it to, 11 would be good.
11 would be good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So maybe you can take over for AJ because I think he's struggling.
Good.
The problem is he keeps
you know.
eating these burgers and then ordering a second one to go. And like, AJ, no,
Well, he's trying to,
man.
you know what? Like he's trying to support the food bank, which is great.
Yeah, that's fair.
Here's the thing: just get a burger and then toss them a tenner. Like you know what I mean? Just like make a donation.
Yeah, no, he's just sending the tweets, just saying I was here. He thinks that's good enough.
Tweets?
He's big time now.
Are we on Twitter?
I don't think so.
I don't think anyone's on Twitter, except for Donuts, in response to the greatest prime ministerial scandal of all time.
Oh my God!
Yesterday, everything went absolutely bananas. Everything went poop house as Justin Trudeau bought a few dozen donuts from a local bakery in Winnipeg when he could have gone to Tim Hortons. And this was put out there by whoever, I don't know who, but the title on all these articles is Canadians criticize Trudeau after visit to O Donuts Bakery in Winnipeg. It's just one of those things. News fader?
I think we actually have
good
audio.
Great.
Of him buying his donuts.
Donuts. I got donuts. Hey, I know you.
Oh.
Oh, hey. Must have seen Jason Kenney out there.
Yeah, maybe the press or something. Hey,
hey, I know you guys. What's going on? Yeah, it's a new beard. I know. I look great.
Can we talk about that beard for a minute?
I mean, very Tony Stark. A little bit of gray in there.
Looks good.
Looking a little older.
It looks like he's like, my first term, I was fresh.
Yeah.
I was ready to go, fresh and clean.
And now I don't have time. I'm still dealing with this Canadian, this division in Canada.
Yeah, he's rolling up his sleeves.
That's right. getting dirty.
It's time to get serious, Canada.
Before I even saw a picture of it, I saw a meme with a picture of the new beard that just said "Daddy Trudeau," and I was like, okay, all right. So the other day, he made an unscheduled visit on Monday in Winnipeg to a donut bakery, Donuts in Winnipeg.
First of all,
yes,
nobody makes unscheduled visits to Winnipeg.
Fair enough.
Go on.
No, it was unscheduled on his visit to Winnipeg to go to this bakery.
Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah, no one's like, you know what? I haven't been to Winnipeg in a while. I'm going to stop in Winnipeg. So he goes into this donut shop. Now, it's a specialty donut shop, and we know that these exist, like, the specialty cupcake place, the specialty donut place.
Yeah.
So they use, like, the fresh ingredients, the local ingredients, the organic ingredients, all that stuff.
Right.
So they're pricier. Right, we're talking about like $47 a dozen.
Yeah,
which I didn't know, but I mean, I was still like, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
So he buys a few dozen donuts.
I mean, that is a lot, but
it is a lot.
You know,
that's absolutely.
It's 12 people to a donut.
But I mean, like the donuts themselves, like one donut, like I could polish off half a dozen donuts from Timmy's, no doubt. Don't look at me like that.
In one sitting?
Hell yeah!
Wow,
and have done it, and we'll do it again.
But
would
like, recommend
at places like this, and I've seen some of Donuts. One donut is like a meal.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you're buying 12, really, you're feeding the whole family.
That's right.
So obviously the controversy arose from him spending too much. He says, a spendy liberal.
Yeah,
buys a few dozen donuts at $48 a piece. Probably paid for them out of his own pocket, which of course is taxpayer money. Of course, because Trudeau didn't have any money on his own.
No.
So a contrived controversy over this. As conservative pundits and analysts took to Twitter to really take him down for spending too much money. One saying, I have, like most Albertans, I have to watch my dollar, and when I go to the grocery store, I buy things that will last.
That's right.
And the idea of a treat for us is the bottom of our list. Like, take it easy.
Have you ever heard of preservatives, Justin?
Yeah. So he
God.
said, I can't tell you how much it hurts to see this entitlement. It's donuts. This is what I hate about this kind of politics. Like, we're just cherry picking things to get mad about, and like liberals, like the left does it to the right or whatever. We can't treat it as a dichotomy anymore.
Right.
But what makes me so angry is that some of these people are saying that, like, well, you should have gone to Tim Hortons or something cheaper, right? Something cheaper like Tim Hortons. And it's like,
Timmy's is fine.
Timmy's is fine. I like a good Timmy's. I really do. But a prime minister going to a Tim Hortons, which is owned by a Brazilian corporation, which has, in the last few years, garnered its own controversy by taking away breaks, benefits, locking employees out over 10-cent raises, is not in the most popular place right now. And going to a small business, a prime minister should go to a small business to support a small business in a town or in a city, right? So, I mean, he wouldn't win either way.
What a jerk, supporting small independent business.
If he goes to Timmy's, he'll either be called like a fake, like, oh, look at him trying to butter up Canadians by going to Timmy's. Another photo op, or they do the other thing and say, why is he supporting a Brazilian corporation when he should go to a local place? Then he goes to a local place. He's like, why aren't you going to somewhere cheaper like Timmy's? Timmy's is Canadian.
Who would have thought being Prime Minister of Canada would be a lose-lose situation?
It would be so hard. Oh, my goodness. It's just this kind of stuff that this distracts from actual issues and just drives people insane.
Yeah.
And it's one of these, like, little wedge things. Like, we're just going to, and it's not a big wedge. This is one of those smaller wedges. Like, well, here's another thing that we get to argue about over for the next 24 hours.
Right.
Whether or not the Prime Minister should go to Tim Hortons or support a local business.
I think we can both agree. He should be here fixing your washing machine.
Yes.
A hard-working Canadian kid like you.
Oh.
And here you are.
I got angry with it this morning because the door isn't closing. So it's one of those... We're digressing here completely. I came in hot this morning. I apologize. I tossed my backpack down.
Oh, yeah.
I was just like, bleh.
Yeah.
Like it was a kid
in a heap.
And not a dog. Just bleh. And... So, like, the front end washer, right? And it's been kind of iffy since we moved in.
Right.
It's one of the, like, I have to leave it open all the time lest my clothes reek.
Yep.
It's one of those high efficiency washers that sucks. Anyway, the door doesn't close, so I got a little mad at it, and I give it a little how's your father?
Yeah.
And so now I have to get the washer fixed.
What the heck Wednesday, eh?
What the heck Wednesday?
Jeez.
Wednesday morning, 6:30 in the morning, washer breaks. Just like, I can't,
No, that's
come on.
That's it.
The least a prime minister could do is buy me a Tim Hortons.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast. Hey, it was early. What do you want from us?
So we know that there's an outbreak of pertussis here in the north, and we're trying to get the information out there as much as possible. Get your vaccines. Especially if you've got young children or you're immunocompromised, or older folks as well.
I'm not going to play any more audio clips of it, as educational as we now know that they can be.
My goodness. Thank you. Anyway.
It could help someone still, but...
We also know that the anti-vax kind of movement or the misinformation out there about vaccines has grown over the last 10 years, and now, there are, measles outbreaks and all kinds of different outbreaks in North America because people are refusing to vaccinate their kids. Some school boards and some places of work are giving, basically making it mandatory for you to get vaccines in order to be at those places, especially schools.
Right.
People are fighting back against that. There's a lot of mistrust of pharmaceutical companies, and a lot of mistrust of doctors and the medical industry.
Yeah, what do they know?
But I mean, and especially when it comes to indigenous folks in the north, or basically anywhere in Canada, I can understand there being a lot of mistrust or a lot of hesitancy.
There's history.
There's some history there, right? So that makes sense. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because vaccines are, one of the greatest medical breakthroughs of all time. It's one of the best things we've probably ever done with medicine is to try to eradicate diseases that can be eradicated.
Yeah.
Are vaccines 100% foolproof? No, they are not. Have they, in rare cases, had some pretty serious side effects? Yes.
Yeah.
But when you give hundreds of millions of people something, somebody's going to have an adverse reaction to it.
Yeah. Now,
those adverse reactions they have been fatal. They can cause injuries. However, the overwhelming positive effects of vaccines, they're overwhelming the negative ones.
Yeah. Your odds are still a lot better than they are of just outgrowing polio like Forrest Gump.
That's right. Just outgrowing it. Just start running if you could.
Just run.
But he didn't have polio.
Oh, he didn't?
No, I don't think so. I think he just had a bad spine.
Oh.
Just because the way he was born.
Well, you can't vaccinate that.
Can't vaccinate against a bad spine. So, I mean, I understand. I try to understand. I try to wrap my head around that. I try to wrap my head around the mistrust. What I can't wrap my head around is people with the information that they glean on the internet, or at least they think they do.
Right.
And a lot of this stuff, and I'm not trying to say anybody's bad, but a lot of this stuff is being pushed by naturopaths, and people who literally sell essential oils. Not people who do it, like the people who are on the ground, like selling them out of their homes. Yeah. Essential oils are great. Don't get me wrong, but it's the companies that are saying these essential oils will help you protect against things like this and this and this. There's a lot of misinformation about it.
Yeah. If it's things like anxiety, sure.
If it's but some essential oils have antibacterial properties and things like that. But
they're not going to cure cancer.
No, they're not going to cure
Let's
cancer.
just throw that out.
They're not going to cure cancer, and they're not going to disinfect your house, and they're not going to keep you free of ghosts. Nothing can keep you free of ghosts. All of that being said, a story dropped this morning from Emily Peacock on cabinradio.ca that nurses in the North are having to do vaccine hesitancy training. So this is where we're getting into silliness, is that the nurses and doctors in the territory are already overworked. They work so incredibly hard, and now they have to do more training because people on the internet are spreading misinformation about vaccines.
Yep.
And you see it a lot. Like you see some people who share stories about a vaccine caused an injury in my family, and your heart goes out to them, and those are very rare cases.
Yeah.
What you also see is just there's mercury in this. There's a whole bunch of chemicals that I don't want to put in my child. People use chemicals as kind of a coverall for anything bad, whereas there are good chemicals too. And it's not, non-active mercury and all this stuff. All this information is readily available, but people want to believe that there's some sort of conspiracy to keep them, I don't know, sick, I guess, because there's more money in treating disease than there is in curing it, blah, 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 blah. But also we're trying to eradicate really simple stuff. There's not big money in treating measles. There's big money in treating cancer, I guess, in the States, not so much here. So we're already giving overworked people more training that is completely unnecessary.
Yeah, it plays right into something we talked about, I don't know, like 6, 7, 8 months ago on this show, which was you brought up, you may remember this, the what was it called? The BS asymmetry principle?
Yes.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Where basically it takes at least twice as much evidence to refute garbage claims that it does to have people accept them.
Well, and it gets down to that whole thing, like, I've done my research, and like, when people say based on my research, stop them right there and say, okay, how did you conduct your research? Who are you to such, like, it's when people say based on your own research, it usually just means, okay, you read until you found something you agreed with and then stopped reading. Yeah. For the most part. A lot of people can do research. That's fine. But I mean, for the most part, especially when it comes to things like this, based on my research, I did, like, I put a question on Google and said, do vaccines actually work? And of course you're going to come up with a bunch of results that say no. So doctors here in the state, in the territory, and across the country, and across North America, across probably the world, are blaming social media. And absolutely, I see anti-vax stuff on my social media all the time. People questioning it, people saying, do your research, educate yourself, and saying that vaccines are just full of all these bad things that you don't want to pump into your kids. And I can understand being a new parent and being like, I don't know what I want to put in my kid, kind of thing. That makes sense. Yeah. And at the same time, I also understand that hundreds of millions of lives have been saved by vaccines. So seems like pretty good odds that you should do something like that. Yeah. So I mean, like, things like rubella, mumps, measles, like and these are very curable things. But if you don't have the vaccine, it just makes treatment of those things that much more prolonged and hard to do. And so we're giving overworked people unnecessary training to deal with people who think they know better than doctors and nurses. Yeah. Now, it used to be that doctors and nurses were kind of trusted. I can understand there's some mistrust, but like, when you look at the evidence of this versus that, it's not even close. The effectiveness of vaccines far overwhelms the ineffectiveness or the injuries caused by vaccines. Yeah. And what you do see on social media is, people will say, well, vaccines are safe. Here's all the research. And they're like, well, I'm going to need more evidence than that. It's like, no, sorry. If you get into an argument with an anti-vax friend or an anti-vax family member and they say, well, why don't you prove it or something like that? It's like, no, the burden of proof is on you. You're making the extraordinary claim. I'm making the very logical claim that vaccines are safe and effective, and you're making the outlandish claim that vaccines cause autism and will kill you and are filled with mercury.
See, the problem is they always back it up with a link to Natural Science Journal of Things and Stuff.org.
Med. Like, it's never from a reputable source ever. It's
that you think, bro.
And again, it's nothing against naturopaths or anything like that. Nothing against that. Yeah. It's just that, like, sorry, no, essential oils will not protect you from mumps, measles, rubella, any of those things. It won't do it.
We have to stop thinking we're smarter than people who are definitely smarter than us. Yes. That's a big part of the problem.
Oh, no, absolutely. And I talk to people, this all sounds like straw man, but I mean, like, this is all like based on my own experience, kind of like talking to people who are like, well, doctors are smart in that one area. It's like, well,
so
going to school for that long denotes a lot of things. It denotes some intelligence. It denotes a level of hard work. It denotes the stick-to-itiveness and all these things. I mean,
but even if it's that one area, maybe take their advice in that one area. Yeah. And then look elsewhere for expert advice in another area.
And now we've been having these anti-vaccine conversations for years now. And at this point, I was hoping that, like, we'd be kind of past it. Yeah. But it's only gotten worse to the point where it's not just fringe people who are like, oh, vaccines, blah, blah, blah. It's like people in your circle of friends who are like, I don't know about vaccines. And you're like, not my circle of friends. Well, maybe there is. Maybe they haven't made themselves known yet.
No, don't get me started on your circle.
Oh, my God. Well, you're in that circle.
No, I'm not. Oh. It's Venn diagram. I just barely overlap there.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I don't have any friends.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast was recorded before a sort of live, thankfully not in the studio, audience.
Lekter is adjusting mics for our very special guests, baby Brian Weadick. What's going on? Oh, for God's sake, I should probably turn that on. I was waiting for him to stop finishing adjusting the mics. Hey.
Hey, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, I'm
going on, man?
I'm doing good. Yeah, you doing good?
Yeah, man, I'm doing all right. You trudged up the hill this morning with your guitar in hand. The handle broke off your guitar case.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So
So I'm walking up, hugging it, holding
swaddling it like a baby all the way up the hill.
I think I tried probably 6 different positions.
Yeah, yeah.
Every block, I'm switching.
Switching it up.
People driving by me.
Came
like,
in
what the
here
hell is this guy
sweaty and out of breath.
Jeez, you're gonna.
Well, not so much out of breath, but you were sweaty.
True
really
hard
get
luck
people
artist.
going.
That's right. Oh man, it's warm in here.
Steam it up for us, Brian.
That's right. So we talked about this story. We talked about Brian coming in last week. The rink, the pond hockey rink outside the houseboats has a long-standing tradition.
Yes.
And recently, someone, good intentions, paving the way to hell, decided to flood the rink, but did it in a way that made the rink virtually unusable.
Yeah.
Now, those people have been punished and tossed to the bottom of the lake. I think this is what I've heard.
They can't be found suddenly.
They can't be found suddenly. I don't know where they are. So Brian took it upon himself as a wonderful singer-songwriter to write a little tune about this local tragedy.
Yeah, because you're also doing songwriting classes, right?
That's right.
Yeah. For the past 6 months or so, in various kind of formats, I've been leading songwriting workshops or songwriting challenges. So that includes back in, I want to say, October, doing something through Music NWT. They had their annual conference. So, yeah, put on some workshops for that. And that was awesome. Lots of participants. And then followed that up with like an online songwriting challenge. Mm-hmm. Mostly populated with Yellowknifers, and that was through November and December. And, closer to Christmas, there was some fall off. And then this month, I've been doing weekly songwriting workshops just across the street from you guys at Music Space.
So you've taken the challenge element out of it.
The challenge, it's like it's just so easy. It's so simple.
I mean, that sounds intimidating. I would be scared away. I don't want a challenge. No. I just want to try something new.
Exactly.
Challenges.
I think like learning anything new, if there's someone there to demystify it,
right? Yes.
And like overcome that kind of barrier to just have you can't write a song without doing the work. You can't learn Spanish without reading the textbooks and getting.
Wait, you're writing songs in Spanish?
I can do it all, but
oh, very good.
So it's just like these workshops and the kind of community with the challenge or at these workshops is remarkably supportive.
Yeah.
Helping people from wherever their position's at with their competency in music,
of course,
which might be non-existent, or they could be already familiar on stage and all that kind of stuff. But that kind of sense of community is remarkably encouraging, and it demystifies it and helps people just put in the work. So
I like what you say about demystifying it. Like demystifying art in general is really I'm really keen on that, just because there is that block that people think is like I couldn't possibly do that.
Oh yeah, it's not me. It's not me. I can't do that.
I don't have that to express myself.
Yeah.
And there's a real movement, especially in Yellowknife, to do things like what you're talking about, make it accessible. Listen, like to like, there's that tweet that's going around that's very famous. A lot of people have shared it. Like, crush the idea that you have to be good at art in order to do it.
Yeah.
Right. So there's painting classes and singing classes. Like you've got Sing YK. Right.
Yes. Sing Pop YK.
Sing Pop YK. Pardon me. And people like you kind of getting people involved and kind of taking that block down and saying, like, listen, you don't need to be Neil Young right off the bat. Just write a few things down and see what happens.
I mean, really, I think what I'm getting at is Neil Young's not that talented.
Oh,
anyone can do it.
Oh, wow. Oh my, we have taken down.
You think the Beatles were genius? No. They just tried that.
They just tried it. We've taken down 2 pillars of Canadian music this morning. Gordon Lightfoot's a jerk. Neil Young, not that talented. So, oh my goodness.
Well, there's only so many left to go.
That's right.
Jeez.
yeah, they're down to 4 more.
Shania Twain? Is
Brian
that who you're going after next?
That's right.
It's actually all plastic surgery with Brian Adams.
Don't you dare speak ill of Sir Brian Adams.
Sarah McLachlan, a big proponent of dog meat. Now it's a weird switch. Sorry, Sarah, that's terrible.
It's interesting that you bring that up, though, because I do, and I mean, I fancy myself as somewhat artistic. I'm not a songwriter. I'm not a painter.
I'm going to cut you off right there. No, I'm just
I don't exactly know what I do.
This is an art. This is the art of
particularly-
I was
communication.
going to say this.
I
is,
suppose, yeah, this is an art.
This is something.
Yeah,
to
what you do here,
Yeah.
it's the gift of gab.
I
I do
give
all
you-
right
yeah.
sometimes.
I kissed the Blarney Stone this summer, and it's only gotten worse.
I know, right?
Yeah.
What is with that?
I don't know. You're supposed to get it. Maybe if you already had it, it
Maybe
takes it away.
you give the gift back.
Give the gift back.
But there is, for people who are a little bit intimidated by the idea of getting involved in the art community, it's odd because I know the art community itself would work to kind of dispel this, but there is an odd sense of like competitiveness that,
course.
like you say, you feel like you have to be good or like proficient at it without actually, putting any work in. Like you just have to have the knack to be involved, or else people are going to look at you like, look at this weirdo drawing stick figures.
So you have to have
Get outta
you have
here.
to have the Northern Arts and Cultural Center involved with you in order to make it as a.
They got
the only
it.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the only way.
Yeah.
Gotta go through the neck.
Yeah.
If they got
that's
your
right.
back, then you're probably good.
The knack
You're at
has
the
your
neck.
back.
Yeah, there you
There
go.
you go.
So you're doing these songwriting workshops. They're continuing on now at Music Space.
Yeah.
And so you mentioned, like we talked about off the top, somebody mucked up the houseboat hockey rink.
Yeah.
So you sent me a message last week, and you're like, I got a couple things I got to get off my chest.
Yeah.
First of all, we want more songwriters. I'm doing these songwriting workshops. It'd be cool if we could talk about them.
Yeah.
And then you're like, secondly, somebody made a mess of the houseboat hockey rink. I love that. Like that is like the ire of your life right now. Like what awful human being did this? But
Well,
then,
I didn't phrase it like that. I was more like, it's a real shame that some, good Samaritan, I assume well-intentioned person was trying to, do a community service.
well, that's right.
You know?
You were very positive about it. Now that I think back.
Positively enraged at this stupid person.
I can't say I was enraged. There's moments of that, and before coming on here, I did need to center myself.
I was going to
you
say
know?
there was a lot of screaming outside the door. Very strange.
So I said, here's what we do, Brian. You write a song about how someone destroyed the houseboat hockey rink.
Mm-hmm.
You come in, you perform the song live on Mornings at the Cabin, and we just do 2 in 1.
There you go.
2 in 1. That's good. I like the efficiency of it.
Yeah, that's right.
And you wrote a song that night or that afternoon. How long did it take you to write this song?
Just after your suggestion, it was on my to-do list.
You
And
sent me a video like the next day.
I like crossing things off the list. So yeah, I just picked an hour in my schedule that I felt I could sit down and do it. And the thing is like you want the momentum to continue.
Right.
That's part of the thing with the
That's
songwriting challenges or the
Mhm.
groups is like that continual push, and it's maybe competitive to your kind of last point, but
Yeah.
it's more like a co-opetition or something. It's like
Co-opetition. I like that.
Yeah, something like that. It's like a friendly, you see someone else put a song on, you maintains your motivation. So
Right.
you just suggesting this to me and wanting to keep the momentum to have the houseboat rink repaired.
Mhm.
Because, a lot of labor is still going to be required. The minus 40 temperatures didn't really help.
Of course.
No.
Getting people out to scrape away kind of all this ice and do the required kind of patchwork flooding to get it back up to snuff. Yeah, the minus 40 didn't help. So I wanted to both get the word out, particularly, knowing that the upcoming hockey events in the city, not to mention just playing pond hockey all the time, but particularly the Snow King Cup that takes place every March. It needs the rink, so...
It's the best rink in town, too.
Yeah, well...
Well, it was.
Thank you. It was. It is still unplayable, but for these upcoming kind of hockey events, if people want to be playing out there, you're gonna have to put some elbow grease into it to
All right.
kind of get it back up to snuff.
So you have got an original song that you're going to perform for us that drives home exactly that point. You said it took you about an hour. Not to get competitive, but I think it took John Lennon and Paul McCartney like 15 minutes to write a hit song. So, I mean, you're almost there. But let's hear what you got.
Okay.
Because
To be fair, they were taking a lot of LSD. Which we haven't taken on the morning show in weeks.
No microdose?
Well, I mean, of course, but like a real hero dose. What is your song titled?
I'm going to call it Then Came the Flood.
Ah, yes. Very nice. Now, we heard this, Lekter and I heard this last week. We love it. We compared it to, Gordon Lightfoot this morning, who is a jerk. But also that we thought, when I first heard it, I was like, the only thing I could think of was Gord Downey, and Gord Downey just being like, cool. I don't know. That's high praise.
High praise.
High
Yeah,
praise.
That's quite a compliment.
That's right. So let's
I
make
don't think I can play. I'm just going to leave
That's
leave
fine.
it a mystery.
just play it well so we make sure he's not spinning in his grave.
Yeah.
Okay.
It began last winter when my baby was a beginner. So I asked her this year, do you want a hockey rink near? And she said yes. To make a sheet that's sheen, you need a crew of 15 in 30 below to clear all that snow and seal the boards in. Then weeks went by and pucks, they did fly. Adults, neighbors, and children, a new tradition was beginning. Then came the flood, well-meaning but misunderstood. Goodbye to fun. Then came the flood. Then came the flood, well-meaning but misunderstood. Goodbye to fun. Then came the flood. It's still a mystery today, but my instincts say some good Samaritan thought they would be layering pristine ice, but they didn't have the knowledge. There's no ice making college. So what's been produced is a sheet that can't be used by anyone. Then a couple weeks have passed, repairs ain't coming fast. If you want to crash the crease, you'll need to use your elbow grease. Then came the flood, well-meaning but misunderstood. Goodbye to fun. Then came the flood. Then came the flood, well-meaning but misunderstood. Goodbye to fun. Then came the flood. Well, it seems that it's been ruined, so if you expect to use it, you are gonna have to take some time to make the rink fine.
Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful
Woo!
stuff. I'm already singing along with that one. Goodbye to fun. I like that.
Fun.
I
That
love
could be
that
the-
line.
Good morning.
I love that line. Goodbye to fun. Then
Maybe
came
throw
the
that one in.
flood.
Maybe throw that in brackets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then came the flood.
Then
Goodbye to fun.
goodbye to
We're
fun.
going to work on it on my songwriting workshop. That's
That's
really what I
right.
do. I get everybody else
Wonderful
to work
stuff,
on my
man. I mean, we always love that you come in. You were the first, since I got into this radio game, you were the first musical guest I ever had on my previous show
Yeah.
back in the day, and always love having you.
Oh, thanks so much.
Absolutely.
I would just do a little plug. The songwriting group that I've been working with, or a lot of them, we are going to do a songwriting circle at the Snow Castle,
Nice.
March 7th, I believe it is. So check that out. A lot of them never been on stage before. Some of them you've seen them on stage too, but it's a nice mix.
Amazing.
Will you be doing a comedy writing workshop? Because I think, I'm going to say it, I think this is the year.
Yeah, I got
Okay.
a whole opening written.
Yeah, you do?
Oh, yeah.
And I wrote a couple of jokes on Saturday that are not for public consumption just yet. But Lauren McGinnis reached out, Unky Lauren reached out and said, do you guys want to do the King's Comedy Night? And he and I have been discussing it for quite some time.
Oh,
Yeah.
sweet.
And Lekter and I have been mentioning it for a few years. And now we've been challenged by Unky Lauren to do it. So I think we're going to do it, and we'll make the announcement right now.
It's time to face those jeers.
Oh, my. Not even jeers that I'm worried about. I'm worried about just people like
Just silence.
stone-faced and silent about my horrible jokes.
And you got a busy Snowcastle.
That's right.
season coming up too, right?
It is a silly season.
Yeah.
Right? Starting pretty much this week. I got tons of gigs in various formats, supporting other people, my own show, the songwriting stuff, lots of stuff coming up. So
Pitt opening up for Pop.
Yeah, Pitt. They're coming back, doing some big tunes for Pop. Yeah,
That's awesome.
It'll be busy.
Dean was in here yesterday getting silly with us.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. All right, Brian, thank you so much, man, for joining us. As always, it's always a pleasure to have you, and we've got that recorded. We have your permission to play that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, there it is.
Thanks so much, gentlemen.
On the record. Thanks so much, man. Baby Brian, his song, Then Came the Flood, parentheses, Goodbye to Fun.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
Burger Week starts today. Go to any of the locations, participating restaurants, to get your passport. You can get a passport here at Cabin Radio. Buy one of those marked burgers and help the YK Food Bank. BB Cooking at the North Star Building, Copper House, Coyotes, Dancing Moose Cafe, Gourmet Cup, Japane, Monkey Tree Pub, Steak Restaurant, Trader's Grill and Trapline Lounge, and the Woodyard are where you can find these burgers. We'll be going to, where are we going today?
Dancing
Moose for the Dancing Buffalo Burger.
And the Woodyard.
I hope to try to join you here right before lunch, going to the Woodyard as well. You guys put up a couple of videos yesterday, and I didn't see it, but I heard that AJ tried to make a pun, and it didn't land. That's what I heard. It just pains me to say this.
Oh, that one landed.
Oh, did it land?
Oh, God, yeah.
I heard it didn't.
From who?
From a reputable.
From
Sage? From Sage? No.
Sage was laughing in the video.
Oh, good. Very good. Puns
Throw
are
us
hard.
under the bus, Sage.
Puns are hard.
Well, wait till you hear the Copper House one, because if you think the Japane one didn't land, ooh, baby. Ooh, it's bad.
Okay, good. I'm trying to think of what it could be.
You won't come up with it. It's that bad. Yeah.
House.
There's nothing. I've got a great one for this afternoon, though.
Can't plan your puns, man. They got to be off the cuff.
You know what? And I realized I just outed us because I just said that I've got a great one. It's been AJ who's been delivering these puns.
Yeah. You've been feeding him puns?
I'm his writer.
Oh, my God. Oh.
It pains me to say it, but I am AJ's writer of these awful, awful puns. I might just steal the Woodyard one for myself, though. It's that good.
Yeah? Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, I can't wait to hear it. So that's going to be a little later on today, but Burger Week does kick off today, so now you can support the YK Food Bank while eating some delicious burgers. And just to end off today, and not to end it on a sad note, but it is sad. Terry Jones, one of the founding members of Monty Python, passed away. He had been dealing with dementia for the last few years. So it's not a surprising announcement. It is very sad. Monty Python, obviously legends in the comedy world, something I grew up with. And I was thinking today, this morning, and I posted the BBC article saying that, like, there's too many characters, too many scenes to kind of recount. You got Sir Bedivere from the Holy Grail, and you've got the Spanish Inquisition, and on and on and on and on. There's so many, but the two that stuck out to me today, and if you're a Python fan, maybe you'll kind of relate, Mr. Creosote from The Meaning of Life, because it's one of the most disgusting things ever. And it was like, I just loved it as a kid because I was like, this is so over the top and gross.
Yep.
That was one. And the other, which is a lesser known one from Flying Circus, which is Arthur Two Sheds Jackson, which is one of these amazing ones where they it's a skit where they try to they kind of do a fake talk show, and it's an upper class show where he brings on a composer, and Eric Idle's playing the interviewer, and he says Arthur Two Sheds Jackson. He brings him out, and he's like, now just to divert for a moment before we talk about your music, let's talk about your nickname. Why Two Sheds? And he's like, oh, it's just I have a shed, and I toyed with the idea of getting another shed, and ever since then, my friends call me Two Sheds. And it just goes on and on and on. Now, have you done any writing in the shed? It's just like, I wish you'd ask me about my music. I don't know why I got the first shed in the first place. Wish I'd never bought it. So then you'd be Arthur No Sheds Jackson. And it's one of my favorites. Arthur Two Sheds Jackson. Terry Jones, rest in peace. I hope that Graham Chapman is up in heaven saying, well, good riddance, you sorry bastard.
Thanks for listening. Check out more from the show at cabinradio.ca and by following the Mornings at the Cabin Facebook page.